Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows, the new Star Wars movies that are currently in development by, of course, Disney and Lucasfilm, and exactly, what Bob Chapek has all planned for Star Wars Celebration this year that's going to take place in May. And I've said this many times before that it really seems like that this year's celebration is going to be by far the best one under Disney's wing. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So what's even all the more exciting right now is that, yes, we have a lot of Star Wars projects that are brewing behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm. We have Mando Season 3, Star Wars Andor, Bad Batch Season 2, the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. I mean, there is so much to come for 2022 and 2023 as well. That's just going to be pretty much the very beginning of everything. Now, one thing is for certain is that George, John, and Dave, alright, they are doing a lot of creative things and creative ways of bringing in both Star Wars Legends and the current existing Disney canon, and exactly how they can balance all of that out to really create a brand new and fresh universe that's going to be using a lot of new stories. So on top of all of this, alright, one thing that a lot of Star Wars fans have been very curious about is exactly what new eras are going to be coming into the Star Wars universe. Now, we already have, of course, one new era. That is, of course, the post-return of the Jedi timeline. We also have the High Republic, which a lot of fans are really not looking forward to the Acolyte TV series, or Kathleen Kennedy's Stranger Things in Space project, which is, by the way, dubbed as Project Vortex. But other than that, one thing that a lot of fans are absolutely very much excited for has everything to do with the Old Republic. Now, with Disney and Lucasfilm preparing to make multiple announcements of new Star Wars shows and movies at this year's celebration, creators Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas are working around the clock to bring many of those new shows to come to life. Now, further is described, however, that one major Star Wars show that is set to be announced later this fall, that will be co-written by George Lucas, is set to feature the Old Republic era in live-action form that is planned to drop on Disney Plus in 2025. Now, it's described that Lucas and other creators have already engaged in conversations about the early development of this show and this project that will feature beloved characters like Darth Malgus, Darth Bane, Scion, and others to be a part of this new era of Star Wars. It's described that Lucas and Disney CEO Bob Chapek have been in the talks about this series for the past year and a half, and it is now becoming a reality for the fandom to enjoy in just a short number of years. Now, further, the story is set to also feature characters like Darth Revan in live-action form as well. It's one of the main reasons as to why the Old Republic game is getting remade, and new cinematics are being released to ramp up the hype for this era before it transfers into live-action TV shows by, of course, Lucas and other creators alike in 2025. Now, one thing about the Old Republic, guys, in case you guys did not know this, alright, for those of you that have no clue about what the Old Republic really is, to put it in simplest, ways here, is that it takes place thousands and thousands of years before the events of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Unlike the High Republic, which only is about 200 plus years before the events of Episode 1, this takes place thousands of years beforehand, and that's what makes it so special, is because it has that ancient feel to it. It has that medieval-esque feel to the story. It is basically Lord of the Rings mixed with Star Wars, if you guys kind of like that style. That's really what a lot of fans, consider the Old Republic to be. It has that medieval tone to it. Now, on top of that, alright, one thing that a lot of fans are very curious and at the same exact time very on edge about is, will Disney stay true and accurate to how the Old Republic is in the video games and in the books? And the answer is yes, that is the plan. That is what they plan to do for the Old Republic. They want to stay as accurate as possible. Now, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will also be heavily involved in the creative process of the series in order to make it the darkest Star Wars story in existence. That is, of course, Lucasfilm's goal to create a dark and gritty tone for Star Wars for the very first time, using the Old Republic era. This is something that kept on, of course, being pushed by George Lucas upon Disney to do for years, until recently Chapek allowed this to move forward. Filming is expected to begin for the series by the very beginning of 2024. However, in 2023, next year, is when pre-production is actually slated to begin for the series. Now, for the remaining of this year, however, Lucasfilm will be creating a layout of the series as they plan to make it a multi-season show. It's described to become a universe of its own that's going to move well into the 2030s, similar to how fans call one part of Star Wars the mandoverse and its surrounding stories. This will be its own little mini-universe, in a sense, in the Star Wars universe. The stories are set to focus on Jedi and Sith struggles and battles that will unravel in these new Star Wars installments that will really take inspiration from the video games and even from the Old Republic books from years ago. Now, it's something that Lucas really fought for to make it happen, and he will be involved as a co-writer for the series. The reason Lucas was accepted as a co-writer comes down to the fact that Lucas has tons of unused Legends material involving the Old Republic era of Star Wars that they want to use. The new series for 2025 is also going to get teased at Star Wars Celebration next year, with some plans to unveil concept art for the show during that time. Lucasfilm wants to make sure that 2025 is the big turning point for Star Wars, in which drastic changes to the franchise will occur by exposing, of course, new eras to the overall Star Wars universe. So that's at least, one big plus, is the fact that it's going to be a dark and gritty series, number one. Number two, it is going to be very accurate to the books and the video games. And number three, it will be co-written by George Lucas and other creators by his side. This sounds like it could very well be by far the most passionate Star Wars project by Lucasfilm creators since the past number of years ago. I know that The Mandalorian is great and all. It is. The Book of Boba Fett kind of was mixed, I will agree. But this in particular, this sounds like true Star Wars. I mean, this sounds like something that a lot of fans are really going to invest themselves in, because let's face it, a lot of Star Wars fans love the mythical side of Star Wars, and I'm talking about the Jedi, the Sith, the Force, everything like that. Of course, this show is also going to involve bounty hunters, so they're mixing all of that into one big epic show. And I think that 2025, it's going to be a very special year, because the first 3 years, this year, 23, and 24, are by far the most important to really turn Star Wars around and to bring it back to its roots and to really pretty much, convince the fans that Star Wars is back in action. They have 3 years to create consistent, successful Star Wars stories to really make it happen. And I think that they're going to be able to pull it off. The Book of Boba Fett, in my opinion, was just a little speed bump. It was average at best. It had some flaws in there with some chapters, a lot of which had to do with director Robert Rodriguez, but I digress. The Old Republic is something that you cannot mess up. It's something that cannot be tinkered with, or tampered with, or altered. You really can't mess with it on a drastic level. It's something that the hardcore fans really love and cherish, and it is going to be something that's going to be pretty much the best moment of Star Wars under Disney's wing if they make it successful. So, like I say, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.